What is up, guys? Evanaldo here. Welcome back to the channel. If you enjoy the content, always appreciate you guys smashing the like button. A lot of stuff to update you guys in with right now. Unemployment, if you haven't seen already, came in as expected. I think it was 4.3%. And with this, the odds of Fed rate cuts in October have gone higher. Also, I think the markets, we'll talk about in just a second, but the markets factoring in 3 rate cuts into December. And then I think January is potentially a pause, and that would kind of equate to a 4-year cycle, and the 4-year cycle in terms of a top around when they finally do pause, which probably will be December or January now, which would make sense in the 4-year cycle. We jumped up a little bit. Now we're coming right back down on the Ethereum long right here. This is probably about to go in the red, and it has gone in the red, but the link is up, so these other ones are doing pretty good. If you guys are interested in making some trades, check out BloFin. And over on here, so deposit to receive 15% trading bonus, cash back. In addition, you get the 20% off your fees for life. So this is cash back off your fees, and this is cash back off your deposits. So say I don't know what this goes up to, maximum of 3K. So if you deposit, I don't know the exact on 15%, but I don't know. I think if you deposit, if you deposit 10K, you'll get 1,500. So end September 14th in about 10 days. Check it out. Link down below if you're interested. Nice one with BYDFI as well. 10K worth of Bitcoin up for grabs for a trading bonus. That ends in 4 days. Both of these exchanges are 20% off your fees for life with my link. And remember, if you guys deposit, sign up with my link, deposit at least $100 in either of these exchanges. Make sure you open a support ticket in the Discord with your UID or your email, and we'll give you 1 free month in there. And that's where I post, all these trades with the entry points, stop losses, take profits ahead of time. Obviously, I'm not always going to be right, but I think it's a good community. We got Nightshade in there too, posting a lot of good TA and trades, and KMAC as well. So check it out if you guys are interested. A lot of good stuff in there. And let's get into the kind of analysis. And well, let me just say, like I mentioned, I don't know if I'm completely sold on a 3rd rate cut for December. We'll see what happens. I think if you see alts going crazy in October, November, which it's kind of looking like they might, based on history, based on what happened in 2023, based on what happened in 2024. It seems like we're going to repeat, maybe 3-peat, maybe not. Sometimes 3 strikes you're out. We'll see what happens. But based on that, I don't know if you're necessarily going to get a cut in December. You might, though. But I think you'll probably see a pause either December or January. Like I mentioned, that may mark, if it's like last time. January was the pause of this year, and that kind of marked the end for a while. So, we'll see what happens. A lot of people have opened kind of along. It's not really, not a crazy amount of people going along, but there's some, people looking into it here. So, it's... The funding rates were almost negative at some point, so more people going along, which wouldn't scare me away too much. I mean, it's possible September could be green, October could be green, November could be green, maybe even December could be green. I mean, and then you get kind of your red 2026. I mean, it's a post-halving year. It's going to be bullish. So, yeah, ultimately, that's what I'm looking at. Bitcoin, here's the similar pattern. I mean, kind of last year, September 24. I mean, your bottom was in July, but, kind of some red, then you went upward. And that was around when they did do the rate cut in September 24, and that led us upward. Similar thing at the end of 23, September 23, nice jump up there. So I think we're really due for that, kind of altcoins to do well and all of that here, based on that. And then if you zoom in a little bit here, nice anchor wave on the 2-day, 3 days forming a trigger wave. I mean, you got a decent shot of getting to 130 potentially by the end of the month, if not this month, probably October, and then making your way up to hopefully 154, 150K, maybe by the end of the year, 4-year cycle, or, time from previous halving, the 18-month, that thing would tell us that we're probably going to peak out in October. We'll see what happens. My guess is maybe Bitcoin peaks out in October, November, and then alts, it's going to be December or January. So that's what I'm looking at. I think it's, probably a decent idea. I mean, I'm long in ETH, but trying to go long on Bitcoin, give you guys a little freebie. I mean, that's a 1-on-1, not the best risk-reward ratio, but something like that, you got a good shot, I think. I think we're going to see some momentum. And then moving on to Ethereum, you got your trigger wave forming on the daily. That's pretty good. I just think, I think some of these VWAPs will start to come up on some of these higher time frames too and bring us to the next leg up here. And it seems more and more likely that you'll kind of hold this area. Little false alarm with that blood diamond right there, I think, I don't think that'll play out too well. We'll just jump upward, hopefully. Obviously, there's always a bearish case, potentially jumping down to 39, 37. We'll see what happens. But right now, overall, I think you got your odds a little bit higher to jump up. Or you got some good odds of jumping up, I'll say that. kind of what I'm looking at here would be, this kind of potential. This is kind of the trade I'm in, something like this, back up to these highs, you get a 2-to-1 like that, giving away some freebies here. They might not always be a winner, that. But I mean, if you win half these trades with this risk reward ratio, you'll be plenty profitable. So yeah, that's how we do it. So yeah, and Bitcoin dominance. I don't know. I mean, some people have been talking about this potentially seeing it jump up, but I mean, you're in that area where I think you should generally keep going down, similar to there, similar to kind of this jump down, these kind of jumps down. So I think you should at least, hopefully, if we do see some alts do some good things, 2 or 3x's for a lot of them, in the coming months. This hopefully should go down at this point. Now, the big two charts that are huge here is the 2-month. I don't look at the 2-month too often, but when you get a green Heikin-Ashi candle here, others versus Bitcoin, this is good for a potential altcoin season. Even if it's not a crazy altcoin season, even if it's just like this, we just come up a little bit more. We'll take it. We'll take it after all this pain. We'll see what happens, though. We'll see what happens. I don't know if she's got it in her to, go all the way, make a new high here. I don't know if that's going to happen this time, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But I think you're going to get something here. Others versus Ethereum, the weekly looks really good here. So that's pretty good. And, I kind of like what we're seeing there. And then a few other ones, at Chainlink, I've been a big kind of believer in, I guess, bullish on it. And I think you should be able to kind of hold these areas. And then you got a real good shot at new all-time highs into end of year. Similar trade. I mean, if you're trying to long up to 28, that would kind of make sense here. I think you got some good odds. And obviously not financial advice, so I don't think it happened. But Solana too, I think it's pretty inevitable that it will eventually get to 270 and then hopefully all the way up to 400, hopefully by December. We'll see what happens. If I had to guess where this peaks out this year, it's probably at 400. Kind of don't think we're going all the way to 600, but we'll see what happens. Crypto.com looking a little bit better too. Trigger waves right there forming on your 10-hour. You had your kind of pullback, so I think you could see some strength here and potentially go up to 40 cents. And then, I mean, a lot of altcoins I do think can see, 2 or 3x in 10 years, so maybe $80 could be on the table for this. If we look at just, let's just look at like others in general here, I think in kind of a real good scenario here, what we could see in 10 year, yeah, something like this, potentially double, triple is what we could see. And that's a new all-time high for others, which would be kind of right on time with the 4-year cycle. So that's what we're looking at there, which is pretty good. Obviously, more rate cuts being factored in. Interest rates are going down. The 10-year yield is going down, which is good. I don't think this is going to crash too much, but you may see some point in 2026, I would guess, back to April 23 points. I don't know what that would lead to for a 30-year mortgage. Probably nothing. They were that high back in 18. Interesting. I wonder, 5%? I don't know what that would be for a 30-year mortgage, but something like that, probably sometime. I think slow, gradual bleed. And then you have gold breaking outward too. I would, this one's harder to predict a bit. I would guess gold keeps kind of rallying up with everything, with Bitcoin, with all that, into kind of the end of the year. Probably best case scenario would be like 4,000 into end of the year. And then you'll probably see some type of pullback. Maybe back down to 3,200 in 2026. That's what I'd kind of guess would be the big thing there for just if I had to guess the way gold is moving. But we'll see what happens. I don't think gold will really break away. If history kind of tells us something, I don't think gold is really going to break away from S&P 500, from Bitcoin and all that and do a lot better than it. It'll probably do better in Bitcoin in 2026 just based on history. But I mean, really break away and outperform the S&P 500 for a long time. Probably 2030s, based on history there. So ultimately, that's all the update I got for you guys right now. If you guys enjoyed the update, smash the like button. So always subscribe to the channel for you if you're new, and check out the the links down below for the exchanges. And I'll see you guys in Discord. Have a good one, guys. Bye.